The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good morning and welcome to Contour's travel webinar on the Inca Trail. My name's Rod and I'm just going to be running through it. This morning, the Inca Trail, one of my favourite hikes. During my time, I was fortunate enough to have the opportunity to do the hike 20 times in my tour leading days, my youngest limit days, but a fantastic trek. The trek itself is located in the mountainous region of Peru and it is easily accessed from the city of Cuzco. So Cuzco is our starting point for this trek, and to get to Cuzco you've got options to fly from Lima to Cuzco, from Arequipa to Cuzco, Juliaca, Puno, Puerto Maldonado, La Paz, or from Bogota. Now building an international airport, so in the coming years more international flights will be arriving to Cuzco. Cuzco is located at an altitude of 3,300 metres, so generally when people arrive to Cuzco area, it's recommended to have 2 to 3 days prior to starting the Inca Trail so as to acclimatise to the altitude. Now the altitude may affect people. Basically what it does is dries you out, the air is a lot thinner and you just sometimes can struggle for a little bit of breath. So what you need to do is just slow down to about half to 2/3 of your pace, drink plenty of water, keep yourself hydrated, not with alcohol, and that will assist you in acclimatising to the altitude. Most people don't have a problem, but some people can just take an extra couple of days to acclimatise. So in the area of Cuzco where we've just arrived into, this is the entry point to visits to Machu Picchu. And to get to Machu Picchu, as I went through last week in the webinar, which is now on YouTube, you've got the train option to travel there. What we're going to be talking about today is the Inca Trail from kilometre 82 to go through to Machu Picchu, as well as the Express Inca Trail with a couple of different options on the Inca Trail lengths as such. They're one day, 4 days or 5 days. Next week we'll be covering off on the various different trails, Salcantay Trail, Lodge to Lodge trek, as well as the Laras Trail. But today I'll be focusing on the Inca Trail as such. Okay, so coming into Cuzco, generally spend a couple of days there, and you can travel down into the Sacred Valley, and you can use the Sacred Valley as a starting point because all transportation to take you to the starting point will be passing through Ollantaytambo to reach to kilometre 82, 82 being the distance from Cuzco by rail. Okay, now the Inca Trail operates throughout the year with the exception of the month of February. As you can see, plenty of wet days at that time of year, but the moderate temperatures throughout the year, generally sort of daytime temperatures realistically between 18 and 22, and then the nighttime temperatures dropping down in the summer months, which is also the dry season. So the best times to trek, generally speaking, are April through October, and then November, December, January and March tend to be wet season months with a higher rainfall. But don't be dissuaded to go during that time of year, as it is a beautiful time of year. For me, probably September, October or April, May, as the rains start to fall, a little bit more water in the stream, everything greens up and a lot more orchids starting to come into bloom on the Inca Trail. Okay, so the Inca Trail in distance from your starting point at kilometre 82 has a distance in total to reach to Machu Picchu of 39 kilometres. Okay, so those days are the classic Inca Trail. On the first day goes to Huayna, and apart from a couple of small little rises here and there, you don't really climb much on that first day. Okay, on the way you pass a Inca site at Yactapata, overnight in Huayna, and then the second difficult day is from Huayna travelling up and over the top of Huayna Pass, which is otherwise known in English as Dead Woman's Pass. Now you won't generally find dead women at the top, but that is the name that's given to that pass. Okay. After you come over on the second day, you then drop down the series of stairs down to Pacu, which is the second campsite. Okay, on the campsites of the night time, you can generally expect temperatures around 0, or depending on the cloud cover, it can even drop below 0. So you've got basic campsites in there, and then after your second night camping, up passing the Inca ruins of Ruin Kurakai, over the third pass, and then into my favourite part of the Inca Trail, which is passing through, after you pass over the second pass, passing through on original Inca Trail, past Sayak Marca, Concha Marca and Puyapata Marca, and travelling through the cloud forest in this area where you're able to look down into the Urubamba Valley below. Over the third pass, Inti Pata, and down to Huayna, which is the last campsite. Okay, so you have 3 camping nights, and you have porters, we'll show some photos of shortly, who'll be carrying all the equipment. Everything basically comes in and out, and you have to, the porters carry everything from the dining tents to the tables to the chairs to the toilet tent to the sleeping bags, tents, thermarests, etc., and all the food, etc. Okay, so everyone's provided with a duffel bag prior to starting Inca Trail. They load into it what they need basically for the night time, tend to trek in layers, so you might start in long pants down to shorts and a t-shirt, trekking during the day, a light poncho rather than a heavy jacket, and then you just have clothes to put on over night time once you get to the campsite. Okay, you can see the team of porters there. It's all very regulated in what they can carry, how they carry it, but they're restricted on carrying 20 kilos per person, the porters. Okay, you don't have to carry that much on the trail yourself. You only need to carry a small bag with your camera, water, and some snacks as such. Okay, so everything's taken care. You'll see the porters, they pass along the exact same trail to you. Fantastic, helpful, and very, very happy people. So once you get up in the morning, they'll be waking you up with a hot cup of tea and a bowl of water. They'll be serving you breakfast. They'll be packing up the cooking tent, all of your tents, carrying everything ahead, setting up lunch, serving lunch, packing up, setting up your tents, and doing everything required on the Inca Trail for you so that you can relax and enjoy a scenic trek. So the starting point is kilometre 82 at the start of the Inca Trail, everyone ready to set off. People with walking poles here, they do ask that you don't use walking poles with graphite tips on the end of them. You can get rubber stoppers for them in Cuzco, or bamboo walking poles. So you, after passing the control, crossing over the bridge and heading along the valley, passing Yuctapata ruins and onwards to Huayna. So the distance on that first day is 12 of the 39 kilometres, and it's an easy 5 to 6 hours, and you're pretty much along the valley sort of between 2,800 to 3,000 metres. So you're not really going up or down much, so that also gives you a reasonably easy day to assist with the acclimatisation to the altitude. Okay, on the second day, this is the toughest day as you travel from the campsite at Huayna up through the Yuyutcha Valley to reach to Wami Winuska, or Dead Woman's Pass. Okay, just remember the Dead Woman's Pass, as that might be a question later on. Okay, reaching to the top of the pass and dropping down to the campsite at Pacu. Okay, so there are toilets there, showers, but basically icy water, so probably not recommended for the faint-hearted. Okay, on the third day, you set off from Pacu campsite, which we just saw, via Ruin Kurakai campsite, over the top of the second pass, Sayak Marca and Puyapata Marca ruins along the way, as well as passing through the cloud forest, some beautiful original Inca Trail, to eventually end up at our campsite just by the Huayna ruins there, where you can see all the Inca terraces. From this campsite, you're looking down towards the Sacred Valley and the Urubamba Valley. You can't see Machu Picchu at that point. Okay, so our campsite from Huayna on the third day It's only about 1 hour trek to reach to what's known as the Sun Gate or Inti Punku, where from this point here, this is the first point where you look to Machu Picchu, looking down onto Machu Picchu and Huayna Picchu behind it. The trek from there down to Machu Picchu takes about 45 minutes. There's some steep stairways. From there, people often hear the myth of, oh, I want to see the sunrise over Machu Picchu. Well, that's a myth, because the sun actually rises behind the Sun Gate looking down onto Machu Picchu, so you never see the sun rise over Machu Picchu. And when it does, because of the mountainous surroundings of the area, it's well and truly daylight before the sun actually comes beyond the horizon. Once you reach to Machu Picchu from the Sun Gate, you can see, travelling from the Sun Gate, you can see the road trail coming up from the village here to Machu Picchu. Once you reach to Machu Picchu, you have a tour of around about 2 hours with the guide, taking you to all of the main points within the archaeological site, showing you and telling you all about the Incas, as they will do throughout the Inca Trail. Okay. For those wanting something a little bit special, there is also the opportunity to climb up to Huayna Picchu. As you can see, the stairways climb up the top there. There's a limited number of permits which are given to that, and it's not something you can get on the day, as you have to go in advance. Many steep stairways, pulling yourself up by rope, so not for people who suffer from vertigo. So it is a fantastic trip, and often people who do the Inca Trail find it to be an absolute highlight of their time within South America, and probably more so than Machu Picchu itself. Okay, so there's various different options, but basically after you finish the Inca Trail, you'll catch the bus, which will take you down to Machu Picchu town, and then you can decide to either overnight stay, or you can take the train back to Cuzco. Okay, there's several different categories of train, which I mentioned in last week's webinar: the Expedition, the lower end, the Vista Dome, the mid-range, and the very high-end Belmont Hiram Bingham train. So the train takes about 1 hour 40 to Ollantaytambo, or 3 hours 40 to Machu Picchu, Peru, and then from there you can transfer onwards by road. The train no longer goes into Cuzco. It hasn't done for about 15 years now, back in the early days. Okay, or you can choose to overnight in the township of Machu Picchu with 5-star hotels, 3.5, 4-star hotels, and for those people overnighting, you can then choose to visit Machu Picchu for a second visit on another day. If you feel like just relaxing the day that you arrive, you can go back and have another look and explore further. Okay, so several hotel options there to suit all budgets and tastes. Okay, for those people who are doing the Inca Trail, basically it's sold as a package, and there's only 500 permits available per day. That's worldwide, and that 500 includes all the porters as well. So there's never more than 500 people on the trail, and all of those have to be bought in advance. So to do those, we need to have copies of passport and full payment for that, okay, when requesting the service. The service includes all your transportation to the start of the Inca Trail, all of the camping equipment, your train to get back from there, meals during the trek, tents, sleeping bags, inflatable mattress, and the personal duffel bag. So you're all taken care of. It's basically just sold as a one package. Okay, there are other Inca Trail options. We've got the short one in here, kilometre 104, which brings you into Huayna. So to do that one, you basically catch the train from Ollantaytambo to kilometre 104, getting off the train, crossing over the river, and then a 3-hour trek up to Huayna, which is the third campsite of the Inca Trail. So what you tend to do is from Huayna continue on to Machu Picchu. So basically that's your whole day to get to Machu Picchu, catch the bus down, and then you have your visit on the second day before catching the train back to Ollantaytambo and onwards to Cuzco. So the Express Inca Trail, that's a fantastic option for people who perhaps do not have that level of fitness or are a little bit struck on time. In regards to level of fitness, you don't have to be super fit. You need to be able to sort of walk along well. The paths are rough, the steps are uneven, they can be small, they can be short, but there are a lot of steps on the Inca Trail, so you need to be reasonably active to be able to complete the Inca Trail. The most important thing is it's not a race. You take your time, look around and enjoy it. People so often spend the whole time walking along looking at their feet when they're surrounded by beautiful scenery and mountains. Okay, there are, for people craving a little bit of a better service, there are a luxury Inca Trail which is done on the same paths essentially. There's no golden road, okay, but just the services of the tents, the beds, the cots, the sleeping gear, the meals. They provide a portable shower tent, gourmet food, so it's just satellite phones, a little bit of a backup. Okay, so it's just a little bit of a higher end service. The Inca Trail can also be done over 5 days. Okay, that brings to the end the question or the Inca Trail webinar today. Just remembering that if you wish to enter into the competition to gain a place on our famil for next year, just need to remember what is the English name of the high pass on day 2 of the classic Inca Trail that we spoke about today. If you have any questions, please feel free to type them in and I'll do my best to answer those. And just remembering that please contact us for any inquiries that you have for Latin America. This is our world map, only Latin America, South America, Central America, Caribbean and Mexico. We don't do Asia, Africa, anything else like that. We like to be experts in the one area. I hope you've enjoyed the information, found it useful, and these webinars can all be found on our website. Any questions, just type away and I'll be happy to help. If not, have a good weekend.